Hello friends, my name is Paramjeet Singh and welcome to my YouTube channel. So in this video we are going to do a lab of load balancer in which we are going to create a zone redundant load balancer. We'll create a load balancer and then we'll create a virtual network. Also we need to create a network security group because the virtual machines are going to be in different zones. So network security group is required to configure this particular lab, and then we go ahead and set up inbound security rules in network security group. After that we create three virtual machines, VM1, VM2 and VM3. Once all three virtual machines are created, then we go ahead and install IIS services on the virtual machines. After that, we need to go ahead and configure the four load balancer rules, the load balancer rules which we configured in the previous videos as well. So we configure those rules. After that, we go ahead and ping the load balancer public IP and see which virtual machine is taking the load. So let's go to the portal and do this lab. Okay friends, let's go ahead and create the load balancer first. Okay, now here I am going to create one resource group, that is RG load balancer, and I am naming my load balancer as my LB, my load balancer. I'll select the location as East US. You need to keep this type as public because we are creating zone redundant load balancer, and SKU is required to be standard this time. Please do not change it to basic, keep it standard. And then you also need to create a public IP, so I name it as my PIP. Okay, now here you need to select the availability zone as zone redundant. Next, next, and create. Okay friends, you can see my load balancer is deployed. So next step is we go to the virtual networks and then we click on create. Select the same resource group and then name it as my VNet. Location is supposed to be East US. Next, keep the address space as it is, and next, and create the virtual network. Okay friends, you can see now the virtual network is also deployed. So let's go to network security groups and create one NSG. Click on create. Select the same resource group and name it as my NSG, my network security group. Keep the location as East US. Review and create, and then click on create. Okay friends, so you can see the network security group is created. So I go to resource, I go to the network security group that I have created, my NSG, and I go to inbound security rules. Here I need to configure two ports. The first one is port number 80, that is HTTP. So I click on add, I go to add inbound security rules, and in the source you need to select service tag. Okay, and keep rest of the thing as it is, and change this destination port range to 80, and this protocol needs to be changed to TCP. So keep the priority as it is 100 and name this inbound security rule as HTTP allow. So this is because we are allowing the HTTP traffic. We can give the description as allow HTTP traffic and then click on add. Okay, now first rule is added. If I click on refresh, you can see it's created now. Now let's go ahead and create the second security rule. Select the source as service tag, keep rest of the things as it is, and change this port range to 3389 because 3389 is my RDP port. Select protocol as TCP. You can change the priority to 200 and name it as RDP allow because we are allowing RDP traffic. So this is the description, allow RDP traffic. Click on add. Okay, my second rule is also created. If I click on refresh, it is showing me both the uh, rules that I have created. So once I have both the rules created, I'll go ahead and create 3 virtual machines. So I go to the virtual machines option, click on create virtual machine. Okay, now select the same resource group and in VM name give virtual machine 1. Keep the location as East US. Availability option is availability zone. So keep it for 1 for virtual machine 1. Windows server is 2012. Username is administrator 1. Now the ports that we need to enable is HTTP, HTTPS, and RDP. Next. So in networking, please make sure that virtual network is selected, the virtual network that we created. Go to management. You can disable this boot diagnostics, and also in the networking, I'm sorry I skipped that. In the networking, in NIC network security group, click on advanced because we have already created one network security group and select it from the drop down. So I created my NSG. So in NSG, I click on advanced and select my network security group. I have disabled this boot diagnostics. Go to advanced, tags, review and create. Now the validation is passed and let's create the virtual machine. Okay friends, now you can see my first virtual machine is deployed. So let's go to virtual machine option and deploy the second virtual machine, which is VM2. Okay, I select the same resource group and name it as VM2. Availability zone, just drop it down to availability zone 2 and username and administrator 1. And allow the port HTTP and HTTPS. In networking, please make sure VNet is selected, my VNet which we created, and in NIC network security group, click on advanced and select the NSG that we created. In management, you can disable the boot diagnostics, disable it, and then review and create. Okay friends, so we have created virtual machine 2. Let's go back to virtual machines and create our third virtual machine, which is VM3. Change the availability zone to 3, keep the image as 2012 and give the username. Now check these two ports, HTTP and HTTPS. Go to disks, keep it as it is, go to networking, make sure my VNet is selected. In network security group, click advanced and select the security group we created. Go to management and you can disable this boot diagnostics. Click on review and create. Now create the virtual machine. Okay friends, you can see my third virtual machine is also deployed, so I'll go ahead and uh, configure my load balancer. Go to the load balancer. I go to front end IP configuration. It is already configured. Go to backend pools, click on add, name it as my backend pool, select the virtual network, and we need to add the virtual machines that we have created here. So add all the three virtual machines here. Okay, now click on add. Okay friends, now I have my backend pool created. So go to health probes, click on add. My health probe, and in the protocol select HTTP. Keep the port number as it is, click on add. Okay friends, my health probe is also created. Let's go ahead and create the load balancing rules. Click on add. So name it as load balancing rules, my LBR, and select the front end rule. Then keep the protocol as TCP. The port number is 80. Backend port is also 80. Select backend pool which we have created. Select the health probe, and session persistence is supposed to be none, and click on add. Okay friends, now we have the LPR created, so let's go to the virtual machines and install IIS services. So it is either ways. You can either first install the ISS service and then configure the LBL rules, or you can do it vice versa. It does not matter. So I have already configured the LPR rules, so I'll install the IIS services. So for that I need to take the control of virtual machine 1, download RDP file, do the same thing on VM2, take the control. And take the control of virtual machine 3 as well. Go to virtual machine 1 and click on add roles and features. You need to add IIS services, so click next. Check mark this IIS services, add features, next, install. Okay friends, now you can see the role is installed on my first virtual machine. Then I go to virtual machine 2 and install the same roles on virtual machine 2. Click on install and do the same thing on virtual machine 3. Click on add roles and features. Check mark this web server. Next. Install. Now that we have the roles installed on my first virtual machine, I will go ahead and open this C folder. Go to C drive, inetpub, www.root, delete these files and create a new text file. So I write server1 and save it as index.html. Save. Now that I have index file saved, I can delete this text file, go to server2 and perform the same steps. Close this dialog box, close the server manager, open the file explorer, go to drive C, inetpub, www.root, create a text document and write down server2. Now save it as index.html and delete this text file. Now go to server 3 and perform the same steps. Close this dialog box, close the server manager, open file explorer, go to drive C, inetpub, www.root, delete these files, create a text file, server 3, and now save it as index.html, and you can delete this text file. Now we can close all the 3 servers. Okay, and now go to load balancer and copy the public IP. And paste it on your Internet Explorer or Google Chrome. Press enter. Okay friends, you can see the load is currently going to server 1. So for testing purpose, I go to virtual machines, I go to VM1 and stop virtual machine 1. Okay friends, now that I have my virtual machine 1 stopped, I go ahead and ping the public IP of load balancer again. Okay, now friends, you can see it is directing to server 3. Now I go to virtual machines, go to VM3 and I stop virtual machine 3 as well. Okay friends, you can see my virtual machine 3 is successfully stopped. So let's ping the load balancer public IP again. You see it is directing to server 2. So just in case one of the virtual machine is down, the load is going to be directed to the another server. So this is how you do the lab. If you have any confusions, any doubts, just watch the video completely again. Just go through the video once again and you will definitely be able to do the lab. If you have any doubts, any concerns, you can write it in the comment box or you can also DM me and I'll get back to you. So thank you so much. If you have made it so far, please like the video, please do subscribe the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.